drama group is that it's set out from the beginning to involve women with kids. The way we use drama is to look at ourselves and situations we find ourselves in with our children. One of the things that kept cropping up in discussion over the last year was the topic of going to the doctor. So when we began to think about going out and performing for other women's groups, this theme seemed like an obvious choice. The fact of our having the kids around seems to make a great difference, not only to the kind of sessions we have, but also to how we wanted to perform. In the end, what evolved was a series of sketches which let other women interrupt us and join in to something called the drum game.
You're a bit too bossy.
Why did we stop?
Why?
Well, that was true.
Doing the drama. Well, it wasn't me, but it was also trying to work out something that would actually be suitable to what women need in the way of a drama session. Because I mean, you can have a drama group, and it actually isn't dealing with anything which is important in your life, and it's also on the whole, just practically speaking, not possible to go to that kind of thing for lots and lots of women. It's like all the business of having the children around all the time. Either you make a group which can kind of accommodate that, and in which that's important and it's central, or you have something which is, I think, really phony. I don't know about you. I mean, we've got Claire today.
But our first few sessions were more or less like role play, weren't they? We were all going through dreadful experiences that we had and kind of almost using a session of therapy, weren't we, to get all these things out of our system. We were supposed to be thinking up impros, but we were just griping like mad. We'd all come in saying, you never guess what happened to me on the way here today.
Big benefit of groups that we could come along and bring the kids with us.
That's right.
And talk to other mums.
Mm-hmm.
The whole way that the show has developed, and the fact that when you're performing, the audience can participate at any time, like they can stop the action and redirect it. I mean, how does it feel like getting up and doing something like that, knowing that at any point it might be stopped and it might go off in a completely different direction?
I like it happening. I like it. It's really good. Yeah. But there was one group we did, and they really took off, didn't they, at the Institute? And what came out was similar experiences, and I mean, we're talking on such a low level. I mean, we're talking about just visiting doctors, which is something, I mean, most people would say, what do you want to do is like just visiting a doctor for? But it's something that everybody I've ever met has said, yes, I know what you mean.
Right, the game that we have to play today is a game that we made up for ourselves in order to help ourselves say what we wanted to say when we went to the doctor. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in that surgery, and you're sitting there and he's sitting there, and you know he's thinking something and you're thinking something, but it's things you can't say. Barbara's going to play the doctor, and Angela is going to play the doctor's secret thought. So what Angela says is what the doctor's really thinking. This is Mrs. O'Brien, and she's coming to the doctor with a problem. And Helen is going to play her secret thoughts. Please. Good morning. What seems to be the problem?
It sounds so silly.
Doctor, I've got this pain in my tummy and it hurts when I walk. Neurotic woman.
How long have you had this pain? I'm so embarrassed.
About 6 weeks now.
Better ask about sex. And are you taking contraceptives? Oh, God, he thinks I'm pregnant.
Well, no, but I know I'm not pregnant because I've just had my period.
Better have a look then. If you'd just like to take your bra and pants off and hop up onto the couch.
Oh dear, I don't want to be examined. He's horrible.
What now, Doctor?
Yes. Bloody women wasting my time with their period pains.
Oh, I knew it was going to end like this. I hate being examined. I wish I'd never come to this wretched place.
I'm ready, Doctor. Doctor, I get the impression that nobody ever listens to a word I say.
Would you kindly tell me what is the problem?
Well, the problem is that nobody listens to a word I say, Doctor.
Mr. Chan, could you kindly tell me what is the problem?
Nobody listens to a word I say.
Look, I'm afraid you're wasting my time. Could you kindly tell me what the problem is?
Nobody listens to a word I say.
Ever get that feeling when you went to the doctor? Shouldn't you be talking about where she lives? Shouldn't you be talking about her condition? This is where the bits of the system don't lock together, you know. Now, this lady is depressed. Too right she's depressed. Aren't you? Yes, she is. And we want to know why. The doctor may be looking for some kind of magical medical reason that he can give her.
The doctor doesn't offer the same things that are relevant to her.
No, he doesn't.
Because he doesn't know them. He doesn't. He's not bothered, is he?
No, he's not. She's pregnant, and I'm going to try and stop her. Right, now, could we come back to the point, please? I'm afraid that there's very little that I can do for you about your electric bill and your other problems, but perhaps you'd like to take these.
I don't need any pills.
Now look, Christine, you...
I don't need any.
You come to me.
You're only going to give them to me and I'm going to take the old bloody lot. I don't need any pills.
Oh, I see. Well, I think you should try and take...
Oh, shut up a minute.
I think you should try and take more of a grip on yourself, Miss Williams. Why don't you try
Wait a
and
minute.
get out more often?
Well, you try and get out from 11 floors when the blooming this is broken. You've got to walk all the way down the stairs, take all the kids down, carry the buggy, carry the shopping, do the lot.
Places like high-rise blocks just needs to be blown up, basically. I mean, you know, it's not fit for anyone to live in. You just live on the 12th floor. You know what I mean? It's just not on. I mean, people aren't supposed to live like that.
It's like, if you're like from, say, a lower class, right? I mean, most doctors are middle class, upper class. And they don't understand just a normal, just social security class, because there's a social security class of people, or a working class of people. To understand just the basic things, you know what I mean? They haven't. And the only people who can do, like, doctor things or that sort of thing, are people who are from well-off backgrounds anyway.
When it boils down to it, there's a crisis in this borough with housing. And they're trying very hard, but they haven't got the money or the resources to change it. Next year it's going to get worse. They're going to have something like, I don't know, something like £10 billion taken out of the money, the budget.
Well, you can't get anything out of that without creating an absolute... You can't.
Those blokes have been brought up to think that they're going to have a job and they're going to provide for a woman and their family. And it's all ridiculous because it puts you in a position where you really haven't got a mind. You've got some bloke to come along and look after you and look after your family. And of course, a lot of women don't want that. So whether or not a bloke's out of work or in work, they're struggling with these feelings as well. And if they're out of work, it makes them feel even more useless. And I think it comes out in sort of antisocial behaviour.
Even when they're out of work, they just think about themselves anyway. They're moping around the house thinking about themselves. They still don't think about you. You're waiting on them hand and foot.
Well, I think they're the ones who make us feel hide our feelings. You see what I mean? They make you do that. You know, sort of like hide your feelings, and because they don't want to understand anyway. I mean, you get some men who are very... Well, they will at first. They'll, you know, sort of like, oh, isn't this a pity? Or, you know, I really feel sorry for her or sorry for that. Because I went with my sister-in-law to Guy's Hospital the other day, and I had a television, and it was showing these videos of breastfeeding and how to cope with your baby at home. And it was a couple, I think it was their first baby, because they just looked newly married and stuff. And he sort of like, and he was like this, and she was trying to explain to him how it is to breastfeed, and he was sort of like cuddling her and stuff. But I wonder how he'll be after she's had 3 or 4 kids. You know, that cuddling and that understanding won't be there anymore. I don't think it will.
For family, there's just not much said about how tiring it is for the mother. And a lot of men, although they can cope for a bit, are used to having mothers who gave up everything just to look after the family. And their mothers never used to go on. I remember talking to my mum and she saying, I don't know what you're going off for, you know, I didn't do anything for 20 years. And she just can't understand just how we just won't sit around washing up and stuff all the time. I think there's these pressures on people that are making, you know, relationships with men so difficult. Because they've got to change, we're changing, and it's splitting people up.
I'll tell you what, I think we're finding enormous strength within ourselves, I'm sure. A lot of women have always had that strength.
Do you remember doing the confidence thing? Do you remember when we got to the point of asking why nobody had got any confidence over doing things which they could usually do quite well? And kind of using the group to talk that through. So what happens when you have this baby? And your confidence in doing things which you could do before seems to evaporate. Do you think that's true?
What I used to do when I left Drone up at my mum's for 6 weeks just to get a break. When I used to go out to the shops, I used to bring a couple of tissues in my pocket. When I saw like the crowded bus stop, I'd get this tissue like this, so you know, because I felt sort of weird going past like a big crowd of people, you know. Yeah. So that was, I thought, oh, they wouldn't really look at me, they'd look at me blowing my nose or something like that. You know, it was really...
There was a time when we talked for about 6 weeks.
We had to talk through before we could pin down anything. And then we found this business of the doctor, because our social backgrounds are all quite widely different, but we all met on common ground over this business of going to the doctor with the kids. That was an area that we all had exactly the same sort of trouble with.
It's what you call an ongoing problem.
Yes.
Have you sort of enjoyed coming to the group?
Yeah, I have, yeah. It's nice to have people to talk to as well, instead of going into 4 walls and check to yourself.
Shut up! Mummy, I just saw something. I just saw something like that.